Hello fellas, it's your favourite free man, and before we properly begin this video, I just want to share with you a secret. If you like and subscribe to this channel, there will be more videos. I don't know how the fuck that works, but it does. So like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and there will be more videos. I will now tell you the tale of the worst Tumblr Discord server ever. I think we can all agree that Tumblr is home to some of the nuttiest fucking cookies in the world, mate. I mean, seriously, that's a hotbed for trouble if you've ever wanted it. And believe me, you fucking don't want that. So yeah, I met one of these, and this is the story about that time. So during this time, this was a few years back when I was 18 years old, I was sitting in a server and talking to a friend of mine. And during this time, I was working with another YouTuber by the name of Ablaze. His channel will be in the link in the description below. What happened is, I was sitting there on the server one day, I was talking to one of my friends. Let's call her Nadia for this occasion. Nadia was a fairly simple, normal human being, and we were just sitting and talking about shit. We were talking about feminism, we were talking about Tumblr's insanity and whatnot, and then we fell into the topic of the LGBT. I was not really well versed in Tumblr nor in the LGBT at this time, so I didn't really know how low some parts of the community had sunken, and it was going to be evident today of how far some of them had sunken. What we did was that we went into 3 Discord servers that was aimed towards the LGBT, and we were going to see how they reacted when 2 straight people joined them. Now, we didn't believe that there would be anything special happening, you know. We didn't think that there was anything that was going to happen in these servers. You know, no one gives a shit if we're straight or not. I don't think that's much of an issue. And we were proven right. On the first server, no one gave a damn. And same was with the second server. No one gave a damn that we were straight. They let us stay. No one gave a shit. So, well, everything was handy-dandy hunky-dory. Until we went into the 3rd server. Now that's where the nutty cookies truly became nothing but nuts. That was awful. So what happened was that we went into this last server, whose name I will not tell you about. I haven't told you about any of the others, but I'm not going to tell you about this one either. This was one of the most stringent fucking servers I've ever joined. I've never had to deal with a server that has had this tight in security control ever. So let's get into it. This 3rd server started us off with essentially a message. We were not allowed to join any chats whatsoever until we had been accepted by the admins, and there was a fair few amount of things you had to do before you became accepted. One of these things was that you had to give yourself 3 titles. These 3 titles that you had to give yourself was your gender, your sexuality, and your pronouns. When a server forces you to do this kind of stuff, you know that you've ended up in a bad place. Jokes aside, what happened then was the sheer fact that we gave ourselves our appropriate pronouns and everything. So I was straight, male, and he, him, his in pronouns. And funny little anecdote about those 3 little titles, they were all grey. Every other title that you could give yourself on the server was coloured in one way or another. They were pretty colours. They were sparkling with colour, really. But not mine. Mine was like a grey fucking London mist. It was terrible. But it was funny, so it's okay. So what happened then was the sheer fact that after we had done that, we were going to give ourselves a short story. Then we were going to write ourselves a small story that the admins were going to look over. And they did. And, well, they didn't think too much of us, but they were a little bit suspicious. And, well, they checked us out. They looked through our profile and everything. I had removed my YouTube and Twitter from my profile on Discord at the time, so they wouldn't find out. And they didn't seem to find anything, so they thought that, you know what, let's just let them on and see what happens. Can't be all that bad. So, they let us on. And even when we were allowed on, we had to wait about 10 minutes before we were allowed to use the chat, and even then we weren't allowed to use all the chats, only some. We just accepted it and went into the circus. And by the way, I stayed on this circus for 4 days. My female friend, she didn't stay more than 1. So what happened was that we joined, and we were gonna go into the voice chat once we were permitted to. We did, and we got to talk with a few people there. And my god, these were insufferable people. On the first day, we got to speak with some of the most insufferable people I have ever had the displeasure of sharing a Discord call with. They alienated us for being straight, and they didn't like me for being male and using he, him, his pronouns. And as such, well, I was more alienated than my female friend, but it was still quite the fucking experience. And over the course of the day that we spent there, we were being essentially looked at like that of a new and interesting animal that had come to the local zoo. And I felt like an animal. I felt naked, I felt watched by millions, and everyone was speaking in a language with words that I never had understood. Words that I could never get the comprehension to ever understand. They really looked down on us, it seemed, and I did not feel welcome. And it didn't really get better once I got a look at the text chat either. The text chat was fucking atrocious, because these bastards, the only thing that they talked about was fucking complaints. That was the only thing they ever talked about. They were complaining constantly. One person was like, I'm hungry. And someone was like, well, go and eat then. But they were like, no, I don't want to. And then there was another elitist that was just like, I'm tired. And they were like, well, go to sleep then. And they were like, no, I don't want to. So they have the opportunity to solve their little issues of being tired or hungry, but they don't fix it. Nice. So we simply decided that that place was terrible, we're not going to look at that chat again, and we didn't. But what happened was the sheer fact that we were simply so fucking alienated, and it was so strange as well that we didn't stay there for that long. And after about 2 hours of having been there, she left. My female friend was like, look, I can't fucking be there, that is a too strange a place, I'm fucking off. And she left. However, I decided, well, I'm going to go alone and I'll see what I can find in here. And my god, I almost regret having done that. It was a terrible place, worse than that of most, and I'll go into how my experience was for the remaining 3 days. So my second day in hell was something along the lines of this. I went into the voice chat, checked what was up, and they were doing a test apparently. The test was one of those check your personality kind of tests. And everyone was doing them. It wasn't mandatory, but they did it still, because hive mind. And they wanted to essentially know each other's personalities and whatnot. And the thing was that I didn't trust these people in the slightest. I did not want to do that test, because I don't want them to know anything about me. So I decided I was going to be stringent, and I said fuck no. But they tried to force me to take this test, and I said no, I don't fucking wanna. They were going to look me up. If I didn't do it. They were going to look me up on social media and whatnot, see what I was. That's when they said my name. Oh, Afreemanornot. Oh, he has a Twitter. I was like, oh fuck, this is going to be terrible. And it was really terrible. For some reason I stayed and just wanted to see what was going to happen. And what happened was terrible. They started to essentially get the admins and moderators to post my Twitter in the chat here and there, and essentially just post tweets and adding comments like lol and wow and whatnot, you know, like as if that they were degrading like the shit I was saying. They were looking through that shit and they were making fun of me for it for some reason, and I didn't understand. I thought they were normal tweets, but not to these people. I had ended up in Wonderland. And then came the third day in hell, and the third day wasn't really that much better either. During this day, we were having a little bit of an interesting discussion regarding racism. Racism is, to me anyways, a very important topic and something that should be, of course, taken with responsibility when talked about. But in this occasion, when I thought it was going to be, just a actual debate about racism and whatnot, no, this wasn't a debate about racism. This was a debate about which races you could be racist towards. this is fucking dumb. Because they believe that you couldn't be racist towards white people. As if we are not a fucking race, is that supposed to be an argument or something? It doesn't hold any water, it's not a ball. It's a fucking sphere, everything falls off because it doesn't make fucking sense. And it sure as fuck didn't to me, and it still doesn't to this day. They said that reverse racism didn't exist, which is apparently the term they use to distinguish if racism against whites is something that you believe exists. Then you are believing in reverse racism. But nah, they didn't agree with me on that. They didn't believe that you could be racist towards white people, and I thought it was just fucking stupid, so I didn't even try and argue that much. I was just trying to argue, but that just pissed them off further. So yeah, that was pretty stupid, and I fucked off for the day. Then came the fourth and last day. This day was the most eventful, I think, because this took place over the course of the entire day, pretty much. The past 2 days had been pretty much, an hour or 2 or 3, spending on the server, just checking out what was up. But this was the last time that I was going to be on the server, and it was quite the eventful little day. So it all started off with me just going into the chat, and people were gathering as normal to look at the new fucking attraction they get, which was me. And we were not really talking about anything. I didn't dare to instigate any fucking conversations about anything. So I was trying to just talk about music or everyday shit, something normal people does, and it felt really forced and awkward, which is something that doesn't happen with me that often. I'm very open about shit, but that was very strange. So, after about an hour of conversation and whatnot, something really fucking strange happens, and I will never forget this. All up until this point, I think every single one of these has been Tumblr people because of the sheer fact that they were just acting in such weird fucking shit and they were posting stuff in the various chats that was just fucking questionable and they were from Tumblr. But there was this one chick that I will never forget. At the time, I was 18. She was 15. This girl, we're gonna call her Koi. And Koi was a very nutty cookie indeed. So how this chick worked was the sheer fact that, like I said, she was 15, so I'll grant her the benefit of the doubt. She didn't know better. Now, this chick believed that you couldn't be racist towards white people, for example, and already there's something that's fucking strange. But there was something more to her. She was always there when I was there, but she usually didn't talk. She usually just sat there and listened and occasionally, but very rarely, spoke herself, meaning that, well, she wasn't much of a contributing factor to any case. But she was going to be the main antagonist in the story, primarily because of what she did to freak me the fuck out. So we were sitting there, we were talking about, something, I don't remember, music perhaps, and once silence had settled, out of nowhere, she said, "That's it. I think I found him. I think I finally found it." And I didn't understand what the fuck she was talking about, but everyone else did, apparently. Because everyone else was like, "Yay, good job, woo, congratulations." They were happy. I was like, okay, something good happened? Congrats? But I wasn't certain about it, so I was gonna let it go. Until she said the magic word. "Freeman." I was like, oh god. And then she said the words that will be etched into my mind for eternity. "I kin you." My god. This would be the first and only occasion that I would have an altercation with a fucking otherkin. An otherkin, for those of you who don't know, are human on their exterior, but they believe that they're something else. Something surpasses their humanity. They can be, for example, dragonkin, meaning that they are half dragon, half human. Essentially, they are more dragon than they are human. And they are so spiritually, but also physically, but concealed. So it's like a secret form or something like that. And already this sounds fucking insane. It sounds like something out of a fucking role-playing game. But no, these nutty fuckers believed in that shit. And I was like, what the fuck even is this? And it was so strange to me. I still don't understand it, and I don't want to try and understand it. out there in the world today, there are people that consider themselves to be wolfkin, that consider themselves to be badgerkin, that consider themselves to be fucking dragonkin, demonkin, angelkin, fucking weatherkin. Meaning that they are a weather before their humanity. This chick had chosen. She was a Freemankin, and the first of its fucking kind. And I was just sitting there like in utter disbelief. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she was like, no, I kin you. I was like, okay, do you like me? Is that the case? No, I am you. And she tried to explain it. And I was like, what? It's just in utter disbelief. Like, what the fuck even is this? This is some fucking cult I've stumbled upon. But no, I hadn't stumbled upon a cult. I just stumbled upon an insane person. And it wasn't getting better as she was explaining it. And that was the final straw that broke the Freeman's back. I've never returned and I've never looked back. And I don't think I ever fucking wanna. It was a terrible place. And my god, I'm not gonna go there again. So thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe and hit the bell button to become a Freemankin you too. Bye bye.